children are smiling, and there's no defiling. No one's future is spoiling. Yeah. From your seat, you them a one. Don't turn the radio. Yeah. You are from dusk till dawn. Don't turn the radio. Yeah. From your seat, you them a one. Don't turn the radio. I don't wanna hear what I want. Don't turn the radio on. It's gonna war. No liberation for the poor, yeah. I don't wanna hear no more. Oh, every day another one bites the dust. Whoa. I'm afraid to turn on the radio and let it play, 'cause I know exactly what the radio is gonna say. It's gonna say tenders.
1212 Radio Culture. Good morning from Studio 1, Texas, USA. Welcome to the weekly live stream. My name is Kwesi Sonbako, and I have the utmost pleasure to be doing this from the sea.
To the looting and shooting, beg you secure them youth.
On today's show, we have some very solid material for you. First of all, we will be examining the first half of John Mahama's 120-day self-projection. During his campaign, President John Dramani Mahama set certain goals for himself that he said he was going to achieve in the first 120 days.
Future is spoiling.
We're halfway through that mark. But what is bringing up this discussion is that people think like already he is ahead of the curve. Is that the case, or what do other people have to say about that? We will be examining that case, that situation, that topic with Dr. Abraham Boafo. Dr. Boafo is the Deputy Secretary for the NDC in the OT region. And also on that same story would be Jennifer Oforiwa Queen. Pardon me for that.
Blood painting the streets like graffiti.
Jennifer Oforiwa Queen, who is the Deputy Communications Director of the New Patriotic Party, will also be joining us on that same subject as we examine John Mahama's first half of the 120 days.
Man, a real soldier, take me.
Our second interview is a part 2 of what we brought you last week. We'll be bringing you David Hundeyin, founder of West Africa Weekly.
There's no define.
As we examine the topic, how does the rest of Africa view Ghana?
From your seat, you them a one. Don't turn the radio.
We have this, and we also have your famous reports and your all-female show and Ma Formula, as well as the entertainment update. All this is coming to you, and I will be doing the comparing and joining my team in Kumasi, Ghana from Studio 2 as we do this together. In a short while, we'll start the show off with the editorial. Stick and stay. Please stand by.
I don't wanna hear no more. Oh, every day another one bites the dust. Oh.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
And you're welcome back to the show. Welcome to the editorial brought to you this week by a kind courtesy, Chris Mark. Okay. All right. Welcome to the editorial for this week. For this week's consideration, war on mis and disinformation. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the editorial. Do you remember some years ago, when the legendary Komla Dumo was on Joy FM's morning show? Those were the days when I would wake up at dawn to catch the solid voice explaining the issues in a way that made it hard not to understand. When he left for the BBC, I remember this young, affable journalist who was brought in to replace him. I knew Komla personally from the University of Ghana. I had met him casually a few times through my friend Dr. Kojo Oponwadie, and so I knew his pedigree. And so when Kojo Opon Nkrumah was brought in to replace him, my respect for Kojo Opon Nkrumah started at 50% before he had even said anything. And he did not disappoint, did he, as a journalist? As a media practitioner of many years, I'm fully aware that he cannot be singularly credited for the success of the entire morning show. A lot of the credit actually goes to the production team. But he was such a flawless host and displayed such dexterity on the issues that it was hard to suspend your disbelief when he was on air. I continued to wake up at dawn to listen to the Super Morning Show with Kojo Opon Nkrumah. So when Kojo was called into serving government, I had very high hopes. I saw a person who had been offered the opportunity to build himself into a leadership position in the country. A future President Kojo Opon Nkrumah was not even a very strange idea to me, to be very honest with you. But what did we see? Our good friend seems to be a great journalist and very little else. As Information Minister, Kojo Opon Nkrumah brought nothing to the space except churning out and recycling whimsical government propaganda, most of which was too infantile to be even presented for consideration. This gem of a journalist had drunk the hemlock of vile politics and had joined the ranks of those who make a living out of messing with your mind. Recently, I saw an interview on Inshira FM with Nana Jantua. I saw an interview recently on Inshira FM with Nana Jantua in which Kojo Opon Nkrumah made a rather shocking statement. He said in the interview that the success stories that we are hearing from Burkina Faso and the AES are nothing but propaganda. Really? Let's watch this. We will be right back.
If we promote enough of the good that is going on, and if we educate, in particular, young people more, we did say the appetite for non-democratic governments, ebeko form democracy. And obey who sorry what frame me, Miss Mafro, and I say, yeah, Casa will take for so see near there was what Ghana no. The excesses and the abuse, different types of soldier buying, SM Philly Gaducci, who be done. I was say, I bring a bribia, ye educate you. Now, ye tell abra na soldier buying, different types of soldier buying, SMC1, SMC2, AFRC near there was what Ghana no. The excesses and the abuses are a cause. And now, no, say Burkina and Mali, there are a lot of excesses. The difference is say any democracy in no, only private media be or those excesses no actually. In fact, already a Kosovo or more in the West Africa sub-region, Russia for Taiwan. There's a lot of Russian propaganda. Or more edible push into the only stories you will see about them, sometimes exaggerated. Stories actually say soldier anybody about what transform country not so much. Part of it is because there are no opposition voices. We opposition now did that obeyra. We opposition now ukasa abani Ukraine now kokan. Baby do ba ko to afiase no umpe. EBS Uganda has said that. Inti I was say educate me no more moti say. Nia wuhu oho nyina ba na ye ode na ene so oba Ghana Independence Square na mrante e budget so ho no ye ni na na enokre. A lot of it is push propaganda and there are no counter views. Number one. Number two, there are factories that are being opened and I
would like to pause there for a little bit and focus on what has already been said. And I want us all to apply some wisdom to what's being said, okay? But I would also like to finish my editorial, my scripted editorial, so to speak, because it's really enraging, isn't it? Well, first of all, K-O-N, Con. That's his initial, K-O-N, Kojo Opon Nkrumah. But I would be lying if I told you there was no pun intended here. There is a lot of pun intended here. So Khan wants us to believe that under his democratically elected government, people did not get lost when they spoke up. What happened to Ahmed Swali? What happened to countless people? I don't want to take the time with that. So if you're speaking about people in Burkina Faso, and what story did you hear from Burkina Faso about anybody disappearing because they spoke up their mind? I've not heard any. Has anybody? I don't know. But Con wants us to believe that those same figures and principles that he used to dazzle us when he was on Joy FM, it's not to be trusted now. Because if they are, then Con, you would have noticed that Niger was the fastest growing economy in Africa in the year 2024. Niger is one of the Alliance of Sahel states. The other two states in the alliance all recorded positive growth versus a government that you, Kojo Opon Nkrumah, belong to, which literally had to rob bondholders to, excuse my Niger lingo, hold side. You had to do that. You had to rob old people, pensioners, of their pensions just to float on the water. And you're comparing yourself to the fastest growing economy in Africa, in the entire Africa. Kojo Opon Nkrumah says, don't believe that. Believe what he is telling you. Say, when he was under Nana Akufo-Addo in government, everything was fine. Everything was fine. But the figures that we are seeing, that Niger was the fastest growing economy last year, disregard that. There's some politics going there that's not telling you the truth, says Kojo Opon Nkrumah. Okay? If the members, okay, hold on. Let's back up a little bit. Back up. Your government defaulted on debt responsibilities. No, you're saying, say, because it's a democratically elected government, that's better than the one that's in Burkina Faso that the people are satisfied with. That is giving them what they need. That's what Con is telling us. Con has a problem with undemocratically elected governments. Really? Well, I would like to hear what you have to say about Saudi Arabia and China. and Russia, and some of the obviously more economically advanced countries, which practice their own versions of democracy, if you want to call it that. Does the African deserve any less? Can't the African also decide that we want a variation of democracy? It's okay for the Arab to decide that we want a king. It's okay for the Russians to decide that we want a supreme leader of some sort. It's okay for Iran and all these other countries to determine their own destinies, but Africans have to wait for according to Kojo Nkrumah, somebody to tell them how to elect their own leaders. Otherwise, what's going there is nonsense, even though the people are happier. Let's look at the happiness index. Whilst Burkina Faso was recording growth in happiness index, right? Burkina Faso was ranking 110th. Ghana was ranking how much? Look at that for itself, 142nd in happiness index. Under a democratically elected government, Ghana is 142nd on the happiness index. Under a military government, which is supposed to be suppressing them, says Kojo Nkrumah, Burkina Faso is 107th. You judge for yourself. You judge for yourself. I think I strayed from my script into freestyle now, and I'm taking more time than necessary. But let me round up, Kojo, by giving you some little bit of advice for the future. I think you should leave the information space. I think you've done enough damage to your reputation. And if there's anything else to be salvaged, it will be salvaged in another area. You, same Kojo Nkrumah, who used to run a government, entity, which used to just create and churn nonsense propaganda news to hand-picked, journalists across the nation. I know what I'm talking about. I hired somebody for the platform. I realized that every news he was giving me was the same that was appearing on all these other verbatim. If they made a mistake on one website, it carried across on all the other websites. I said, no, something's wrong here. I dug in it, and then I found out that Kojo Nkrumah actually had a some type of creation where he would distribute news to these people to publish. You who are doing that are telling us that we should ignore not only the facts we are seeing on paper, but what we're also seeing with our own eyes, the natural reaction of the people to good governance. We should ignore that. Only because these people did not spend months and months and months campaigning and slaring each other and spending money that they could have used on other things for the country and tow one long line to go vote for some blockheads to come and make stupid decisions for them. Because of that, they are not democratically elected and should be, what are you saying? Go sleep, my brother. I've given you the advice. Go away from the information arena. That's not your point. That's not your forte. Find something else to reinvent yourself in, something that you can speak intelligently and factually about, rather than something that you'll be forced to use your intelligence to distort the facts about. My name is Kwesi Esonbaku. I'll be right back with the rest of the show. And on the show today, as I've already said, we have some solid interviews for you. Stick and stay. We'll be right back. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for staying with us. We are going to cut straight into our first interview for the day. And I have on the line right now, reaching me, I will have him tell us. I believe he's in his home constituency. If not, he will tell us where he is. But right now on the line, reaching me is Odeneho. I call him Odeneho, but most of us would know him as Dr. Abraham Boafo. Dr. Abraham Boafo is the Deputy Regional Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, OT region. Doc, welcome, sir. Hello, are you able to hear me? Are you muted? I think you're muted.
Yeah, Kwesi, I can hear you.
Oh, great. I can hear you now. Thank you very much, Doc. How are you today, sir?
No, it's a pleasure. I'm fine. I'm doing good. Pretty well. Ghana is rejoicing, and I'm fine.
Nice. Good to know. And congratulations on your, new attainment as the Deputy Regional Secretary and also on your conferred doctorate. Congratulations.
I'm honored. I'm humbled.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we're supposed to be joined by a representative from the New Patriotic Party because we are also very interested in what the perspective is from their end. But today we will be looking at John Dramani Mahame's achievements halfway through his own projected 160 days. He did promise some things that he was going to make sure that he achieves in the 160 days. We are not there yet. We're here having this discussion because some people think that he's actually ahead of that curve, right? If we strike it in two, he would be ahead of that curve. But this is why I also wanted the MPP to chime in so we would know what this is all about. But let's hear from you. What is your own impression? First of all, tell us, where are you reaching us from? Are you in your home region, OT?
Yeah, I'm reaching you far from OT. Currently, I'm in Dambai at the moment.
Okay, good. Thank you. So, what's your general assessment before we go into the nitty gritty? Halfway through John Mohammed's performance of the 120 days.
Let me first extend my felicitations to your viewers and listeners, and also thank you and my brother Justice of Boss FM for the opportunity to share my views with you, and for the fact that you are hosting us from Texas in the United States. Let me take this opportunity to say a very big thank you to the National Democratic Congress chapter in the United States of America for their, tremendous support during and after the election 2024. Today, we are resetting our country. We are redirecting the path of Ghana on a direction of prosperity, and they cannot be counted out of this victory. So we thank them for their input. We thank them for their resources that they've committed into our campaigns. And we hope that going forward in the future, we strengthen our country well to become the beacon of democracy in Africa and to become, a country everybody in the world will want to visit. Yeah, President Mahama, His Excellency, the first gentleman of the land, is delivering on his mandate as promised to the people of this country. When you look at his performance so far, it is clearly in tandem with the manifesto of our party. What we actually promised to deliver to the people of Ghana, we are steadily and progressively delivering. We promised to run the most leanest government ever in the history of the Fourth Republic. In fact, from 92 to date, we have had the first ever government that is running Ghana with even less than 60 ministers. We are running Ghana with 54 ministers, 56 ministers, because we still go from 4 deputy ministers to appoint. So currently, President Mahama, His Excellency, is running this country with just 54 ministers. We are running this country as it stands with just 30 presidential staffers. And our promise to the people of Ghana, the MOU we signed with them, the Memorandum of Understanding we signed with them, and they gave us the mandate in 2024. In fact, when regarding lean government, we are actually delivering that because it is an established fact, not a debatable fact, that we are running the most leanest government ever in the history of Ghana. Putting that aside, we promise that, if I look, decentralization, local government is the most important aspect of governance. You know, the centralized part of government probably might only want to tackle urban area problems. I only want to solve problems for the first class citizen. What happens to those at the rural areas? What happens to the ordinary Ghanaian? The ordinary Ghanaian, when he is selling, his first point of call is assembly members. His first point of call is the local authorities. President Mahama promised that for the fact that the assembly members are playing a very integral role in our governance, as established in Article 240 of the 1992 Constitution, he is going to pay them monthly allowance for both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. In fact, in the budgets presented, the Asempa budget, the Abampapa budget presented by the most excellent finance minister, the Honorable Atforson, I mean, assembly members are sorted out. They are going to be paid at least 1,200 cedis a month. So our promise to strengthen local government and our promise to make assembly members feel part of governance is delivered. President Mahama promised to put his cabinet within a specified period of time in our manifesto. Indeed, that is done.
So Doc, we will look at these individually. Okay, I want us to take like a pinpoint precision look at these. But I also have joining us right now, Paul Kwabnayando. Paul is from the New Patriotic Party, and Paul, are you there? I'm not sure if your camera is connected. Please make sure your camera is connected so we can have you, and then we can all look at the issues together. Okay, Newsroom, please make sure that Paul gets the message. His camera is not connecting. Please have him reconnect and come back, and we will be very happy to have him on. Please go ahead, Doc, while we wait for Paul.
So basically, what we're saying is that, I mean, partisan politics, governance is all about probably just staying with your ways. The MPP, I mean, demonstrated the opposite of what President Mahama is doing. The MPP promised probably something else and delivered another thing else. We are saying that, see, we are the proponents of the 1992 Constitution. We are the builders and establishers of democracy in Ghana. So what we're saying is that, see, let us be truthful to our people. President Mahama appointing system ministers is a difficult task because, you know, political party is a very huge entity. We have, I mean, sponsors of the party to sort. We have basically party members. We have other people to take care of. And what the president is saying is that, see, we say that we are promising 60 ministers. We are going to deliver that promise. Though the efficiencies, the excesses of that promise, we still need to stick to our words. So the president is actually delivering on his mandate. And look at, we promised to abolish COVID taxes. We promised to abolish betting taxes. We promised to abolish, I mean, most of the nuisance taxes. I mean, vehicle emission taxes.
Okay, so like I said, we will look at those.
We've done that in our manifesto. All right, that's fine.
Mate, sir. And Doc, I hope you are comfortable speaking some tree also.
No, I'm all right with tree. I'm fine.
Great. Because platform we speak any language that our audience will understand. Me personally, I wish I spoke all the languages in Ghana. Instead, the best frafra,
okay.
But the
problem,
yeah, the best frafra. Nice, so that's it. Yo, and to joining us right now, you are Paul Yando, Mr. Paul Yando Free, the new patriotic party. Mr. Yando, Yamakwaba.
Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Yando, Yamakwaba.
Me also, Pajo Mutumika.
You tunka papa. Na baby away. I hope call.
Yamia do Ben the NDC for NSL, my but yeah, Yamia, why not from
Samum. Yes, Juma Yebedi, no, I high and then no. Mampany John Dramani Mahama, or man who said first 120 days, no, or no maybe or pese or making sure say why. Na saa normal no na ye hwe se ye nya do 120 days ye be fancy ye twemu half kakra but ye hwe se onam kwan so ekwa saa 120 days bosho de maye no odi so ana no so be kire nse ne bosho aka eto aso no obedi so ana ye mboni tofa kakra bi ansa na yakwa kohwehwe mu pote wadwen ye osen onam kwan so
Pajo say
me say one thing that me kan ni mu bia
Mr. Osa Kambimna network issue.
okay me say Omanpanyi John Dramani Mahama Oman who say 120 days the first 120 days no or no bia or they are to akwem so obeye na yenyan do hot there and so we twemu halfway kakra the hwe say baby halfway no dey dru no and no chest on nam kwan so all call baby papa na send na wadwene ye.
Oh, okay. Madam Asina, Munina, more platform, no so, Minchiam, na Mindi Kanda Masti, Emma, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia, 2024. Na Yenimuse, Tausha Ghana, Senena, and Yama AC Air Conwa. Na ye say a bit taking a very bold decision. Send your bit to me, Abuayen. Na Ghana ye nyina ye pese ye nsetimi ka no ye nsa etima ka nti ono na na ye fi se Ghana fo ebetu abama no ye so entimi akoba ni sa na me so aba ye nyina ya ti ase e wo tro bumpun ni mu se bibia mu ye mfa aseda e ma no na nipa so a omo ye sa de no so ye mfa aseda ma mo na me se bripa mu no Obeshasi na wadida obibia si. Enso so semri ya onya nyeza mikasama MPP ewo Asante region ha menya sa akwenye ya mine nipa dodo no a edi nkomo no de medical Adam Asipa.
Yo, it's Mr. No me patrol. And no me no quickly me patrol pi. Senka betimi nya baby na nka wegina na yetimi hu anim ya say o move into adeni kekan sisi ya fesi yen sheda hu anim ye. Secondly so no ya burning sheda no supiti ka betimi focus on issues now because the person can share 120 days promises any year pa. Ya be sheda fraud dako na ye di Dr. Mahmoud Bahumia hu komo me patrol pi.
Camera near.
Yeah, perfect. Customer me, be that CP.
Yo, me that's it. Now the American United said, right from day one, 7th of December, I caught you bar NDC for John Mahama, Eddie Enimu, our video man, Penia Kunya Ghana. Day one, Obian Hawanya at Mudri, our Ghana. So what follow Ghana half a year? Hey, Obia Yatua bar. NDC for one who in Kunumde Cassia, Muddy. Hey, over here, not just that. Secondary school and Qualadia near Woho, not for a NDC for your well, I was sending in a.
I was him for.
Oh, I was finding school to baby. Over
hello.
Kumasi girls. Okwa Kumaka. Pacho utie Kumaka. Ebisi ewo ho. Okwa puno average so a. Pusu ni bi ewo ho. Just social media baby
Okay. Until like I said, no, the be kind of who but you see focus on John Mahama's achievements.
I don't know me shot every ho is it. Yeah, to about 7 December no. insecurity adults wɔ man no mu enka obi enimu sɛ mo na madi nkunimu de ade na eba mu fie empani kasa ayɛ kam yɛsɛ agro eba wo fie a yɛ mbɔ kɔntene ɛkɔhwɛ dan so ɔmo awini mpo no hwɛniɛma a ɛkɔ so sɛsi ɛyɛ amena wo kasa aban adwuma a yɛnim ne sɛ ɛyɛ aban adwuma ukɔ bui dama NDP for akɔhɔ sɛ ɔmo kɔpam nkɔfoɔ ukɔ GRA ɔmo akɔhɔ sɛ ɔmo kɔpam nkɔfoɔ ukɔ tɔɔ a ɔmo akɔhɔ sɛ ɔmo kɔpam nkɔfoɔ kyerɛ several other places ɛnna amena wo kasa sɛsi ɛyɛ unim sɛ closac anaasɛ local government staff ɔmo wɔ strike.
Mr. Yando, the Pachopi. I'm sorry to do this, but me person ki focus on because I feel like yaba be share a normal nimu ye wo hu ni ahwe say okay oka say waye or ye say waye but so far some wo kan na no me share that hu bibia okay what can you security which is an issue so we can look at that right but me for some kit me zero in yes but I know you have example of one issue
now we are safe and secured.
That's not true at all. One thing with this platform, don't you say? Yep, o can be a me pachopi. Nanka de be backing it up. Nana Kufadu, you bet me into or minor the human rights index. You bet me so many different things. You bet me my specific examples. I want us to focus on the subject for today, which is John Mahama's performance. Yanka Kufadu wants them cry, but I don't want this to be a platform for churning out falsehoods. Be pachopi. Can we zero in on John Mahama's performance? Permit me pull up some of the things he said. Then you zero in here. Oh, John Mahama said, for instance, I can put this up right now. Give me 1 second. John Mahama says, within the first 120 days, he's going to, within the first 14 days, for instance, he was going to appoint, he was going to complete a list of cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval. Was he able to do that? Things like that. He said he was going to constitute the leanest and most efficient government. Has he been able to do that? Is he doing that? Or by establishing code of conduct for standards for all government officials? Is he doing that? Has he been able to do that? Is he looking like he will be doing that? No matter can be person why? And if you don't mind that, let's even go straight to that. Now let me start from Doc. I'll come back to you in a short while. Doc, please take these first three things for me. Also, Obe nominated first 14 days, or in the list of ministers, for approval. Second, also the leanest and most efficient government. 3, also he will establish a robust code of conduct for a code of standards, right, for his ministers. Has he shown or has he achieved these 3? Very briefly, please, so we can look at the rest. Nafi,
Paul Sonna, anya kwa ina se uka pressa na ni yemu
That's a very famous sound bite Nepal.
Yeah, so what happened is that at time you know MVP for no, they should know the difference between very, very huge international platforms like this one and that of to me TV and radio in Accra. Because I had the Obana or the normal Ghanaian partisan propaganda ever to her. You'll be pointed out, you'll be exposed. The fact will be pointed out to you because radio culture from Texas is a big platformer. Here it's all about professionalism and intellectual engagement. And this is all the propaganda. And if you want to meet TV, you want to be the Bahadia, you can't sustain it. Yes, so quickly, President Mahama promises that within 14 days, Oba appointed the ministers. And Oba appointed specifically 60 ministers. Many who can say within 14 days, ministers, we have appointed 54. All are approved. They have started working. I got 4 ministers. 56. 56. I got 4 deputy ministers. The president who is yet still consulting Obama appointed in fulfillment of his agreement with the people of Ghana. And no, it's cleared. Now, say I could share CEOs of state institutions. That was Stiga, Professor White agency. How sure? What the president that somebody told you, Okachron said, this is not the time, man. Obey CEO. inefficient or unproductive CEO of an institution. So who institution no or mamo 1 year. So institution no and make a profit to the Republic of this of Ghana. Is it that see about close institution down, and now we're going to merge it with other institutions to ensure that we stick to the standards of productivity, we stick to the standards of delivery. What you say? And indeed, that aspect of conduct for state officers or public servants entrusted with high offices of public trust, he has established it there. President Mahama Kache, the minister, said, Oba believe this term is a legacy term, and yet try and error term na wabai, and yet matter makwe error term na wabai. And so we a minister, as a woman say, you want to make your mind that this is where you want to make money, like Akufo-Addo ministers making his car in the previous administration there. They have not found a place yet. And in President Mahama ministers in Nana, it is all about expertise. It's also all about intellectualism. It is all about, control over the area.
Okay.
As a human rights practitioner, there is what we call the matching concern, the matching approach. Which the minister Biana and Nipano has knowledge of the area or the Nokoye. Atufosen is a tax and finance practitioner. Jenapo is an energy expert. Eric Opoku is an agric expert. Sam George is a communication practitioner. And those ministers in Nana, there is no minister present in our Kobebia only knowledge of the area. Unlike Nanado time now, only by Napo, a dentist, now a command education minister, a dentist, now an energy minister. This is not the time. And do share
personally.
Yeah, okay.
Please wrap up. So there are a lot of items on that list. So briefly, we can tackle as many of them as possible, please.
Briefly, what the president said he was going to do within 14 days in office. Cabinet or promise said he's going to fix it. He has done that. And Abraham Wafon and Mitieka, we share the rate at which investors are returning back to Ghana. No? That sort of investor confidence has been re-established. We share international comment from international politicians, from international players now in the political space now. They are all saying that President Mahama is actually on the right path.
On the right trajectory. Okay, well, these are just three of the items. We'll look at others, and then maybe at the end of the day, we'll be able to strike a good enough average. But let's go to Mr. Yando right now for a quick reaction. Mr. Yando, Mipacho, first three items, those three in nominal you can boss. If we say we deliver in those areas, and now say we need so.
In the first place, not me name baby. We know the topic discussion, Ebeshe Asie. But what I wanted to do is to give you an overview of Enyema Akoso as a result of elections Yekokotu ye ewo Ghana.
Oh, I know the Mifu say you not to wait for now. We want to look forward.
Right. So if we are to go by the specifics now, I think another Makonia documents now, what kind of social contracts now, or catch. But if we should go back, their whole kind said within 14 days, he's going to establish a robust code of conduct for civil service in Ghana. I thought
said there was an event of Freddie ministers, Bibisa to win him, and when
Pacho who Bibisa, Ubetima Kama in Ayati. But so far as Adia Washen, the minister said, Womunina, and a friend is saying declaration of asset. It was opener. Or no, any the auditor general, Asia, or share. The minister said, Omunye. What you say? Michelle, and no has not been done. And within 14 days, Obe appointed the ministers. Minya, you can say appoint ministers. In the first place, is supposed to be done in consultation with Council of State. What you say? And yes, I'm sorry, no one Bobby didn't say or your minister. So what you say? You have to do that in consultation with Council of State. John Mahama has flouted the Constitution. He has flouted the law. Enya de papa. Minister Bia Oboni di Bia Niwa. He did that with the consultation with Council of State, which Enya at the papa. And Oka say Obe provided system ministers no. Meaning within the 14 days, Enya 56 na why. System will do what then. 4 now can say what 14 days here. What you say?
I don't think there's any time frame that forces him to.
There be say on one account, Minia.
Okay. And now what you say in that sense,
but in Kawasu, when say, "What do a man penny bida?" Do mama, what do a man penny bida? I will nimu say, yes, say, according to the Constitution, the Asha won't say, "Fabu or minor protect, Yes, Ubebo bidding as a minister. It should be in consultation with Council of State. Or flouted minister, Omudia train trio or Ghana Henina. Obi anywhere, your body did not Council of State to cry. Chapter 1, flouting of rules and regulations, a work constitution, what watching baby cry. Chapter 1 on Fanya. And now, or can sell Obama 30% of women in his government. Maybe.
Yeah.
Fairly woefully. What fairly woefully. Oh, a madodua. What a number you can just pinpoint 1, 2, 3. Does it form a friend is saying 30% of his government of ministers? We are witnesses to it. Any idea what me for failure sadie. Eti acquire say any more or can so obey levy any betting tax. What you say?
Yeah.
Every hope. Minya, or better so I bisano, or say he's now going to rationalize it. And I want this abroad.
Oh, but Opatis, I want to say, finance minister has scrapping those taxes, nephew.
Yeah, scrap it then.
Won't say,
and then who tell to now, yanto betting tax. And there was any transaction. I had stop.
I don't know, but what I'm aware is that there was some taxes on lotteries. Mepachopi. Let's make sure that people understand what we are saying. What I understand is that betting tax, it is the one that was whatever happens. The lottery tax, they say we that. Lottery, they say we that near the tax from way back. What I think people had issues with was some new betting now, but no more you tax some more earnings, and I think that has been scrapped. And
I may say, Sani attitude will but say, see, na me no work say,
Oh, but so we are media person, so we are media practitioner. What it will him say? How do you mean when you say what it will him?
Oh, Sana
presenter.
Sana finance minister and call parliament or cockeye.
Enti back then, when I said, can for that call parliament now for car summer, yet it's in a way, man.
Back, I'm an etime, a year sad and a free one. I to force and Franco. Paper Uji.
Mitiopa.
Or call parliament in them. Law now a bet to me abuano. I'm an etime, a year betting tax, every one. He didn't send the law to parliament, which is a public knowledge. So we make catch up.
Everyone can teach the other. Law
bank. Say, okay, say, Obeti Women Bank. What you say? Establish a women's development bank. According to a finance minister, in a year of present year, was what the 58 million Ghana cedi. Ena ede kwa kote sa bank.
Okay.
So we share so a jina so edited bank ewo Ghana ha. Minimum requirement 400 million. After the way to bank. What you say?
Yeah.
Now say as minister, okoka say what the 58 million. Not just say unya bank be na kwa kote. Not just say you have deceived the women by saying say maybe be a bank. Meanwhile, would him the capital requirement, but you couldn't fulfill it.
Okay. My impulse on near my doc in Brim who I don't see too much reactions near Ebeding into the Yenin Kakra. We raise valid points. I will say Yente doc reaction quickly on that. Yes.
Yeah, so I think sir, my good brother Paul made a very misleading assertions here. I was here correct no, because Makachen said this particular platform is a multinational platform, and the we should make sure sir it is verified and well researched. So we share Article 78 Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution. It stated clearly that ministers of state shall be appointed by the president with the prior approval of parliament from among members of parliament or persons qualified to be elected as members of parliament, except the majority of ministers of state shall be appointed from among members of parliament. So this is established. This is clear. This is basic. Say, assertion or yes, the president must appoint ministers in consultation with Council of State. Is false. The 1992 Constitution. I am a constitutional lawyer. I have much knowledge and much interest in constitutional law. And Undinu 78.1 is clear on the appointment of ministers. The Constitution in any way and cast president and appointed ministers are on consult to Council of State. The president is supposed to consult Council of State on the appointment of Shraj, Commissioner, Electoral Commission, Commissioner, IGP, and other state institutions appointed. And Paul should get that corrected, yeah? Second, Paul, because Women's Bank, right? Women's Bank, the threshold, investment threshold, meeting it is also a palpable lie. So, investment act now, and now, that threshold, no, on to Ghana. The Women Bank, we promise the people of Ghana. Yeah, modus operandi na edible operates our bank. No, he doesn't need to understand it because no MVP ni. We understand on here. That is also false. Second, and also Paul who said, "Yako kind budget or parliament, the legal procedure, the legislative procedure is that." Yeah, the parliament, the budget for parliament, no, and yes, then out of course, that kind budget now, it becomes an operative and a working document of the country. I do also acted on behalf of the executive arm of government. It was in legislature, no, parliament, and it's no formal subcommittees to debate the budget, and then they will come back, no more approval budget, and the whatever Atufosin says, our budget, becomes effective, becomes implementable, becomes realistic after the approval process is done. And untinu say e-levy, your transaction that to e-levy, and another than Kwakufuado neighbor led administration to e-levy, and you don't demand Mahama government because you demand Mahama government. We don't have budget yet. Yeah, we are still the government is still operating with Akufuado. Then Baumia budget for that 2024, and I have to do operating until the current budget now to force and kind will be approved by parliament. We are still operating with another and Baume's budget. And nothing say two e-levy, and I two betting tax now. I could for the Baumen to when you don't Dramani Mahama and the NDC-led government. That is also that clear. It should be established. Okay. And nothing, okay, in his opening remarks, he made a brief comment on insecurity. Yes. As I know, the only people that are not secured in this country are criminals and corrupt politicians. If you're a criminal in this country, so my isika, what's in the Ghana Sikamu, Abo Ghana Chrono, act of deliberate financial loss to this state, you are not you may not be secured in the country, because it is high time or mine also it is high time also then put two politicians to be accountable to the people that mandates them, because we share the constitution of the country now. We share Article 1+1. It says clearly that the sovereignty of this country resides in the people. This is a Ghana for, despite their busy schedules, I could queue on December 7th. Now I'm mandate. That mandate must not be taken for granted, because the sovereignty is for them. And the only people that are not secured in this country are those at the National Service Secretariat now. Only your ghost names, such people will not be safe. Obi to say Kusi Boatin, our forges so many national IDs for criminal purposes. Such a person must not be safe in this country. Obviously, Keno Furata, who is a fugitive of justice, Obia, while authorizing
it's not a fugitive
unauthorized
actions. It's not. Just one correction. He's not a fugitive anymore, lawyer.
Yes, I agree. I mean, legally, he's not a fugitive anymore because he's in the country and the state and justice institutions can assess him. But such a person allegedly must not know peace in the country. So,
well, the court will determine that, won't they? And you are a lawyer,
yes,
so we'll leave that to the processes.
If this caliber of people, and are safe there, I understand him. But to say the generality, the entirety of Ghana is safety there, it is clear that the country is very, very safe and peaceful. I mean, the aura, if you come to Ghana, I mean, you can say, Urajamu or Makola, Unam Kromu, the feeling alone that Mahama is the president of Ghana, it is fulfilling.
Okay, let's look at some of the other items, and obviously I don't think we have enough time to cover all of them, so I'll just handpick some of them that I think should be relevant to discuss, and some of them we'll just move on through quickly, because for instance, I'll see you initiate steps to come. Well, we'll come to that. I'll say carry out a shake-up of all loss-making SOEs and realign them to break even and transition into profit. We all saw when President Mahama met the CEOs and all that, so I think that one we don't have to waste time on. But also, they will also initiate immediate steps to compensate flood victims, including those in, and this is why I come to you, Doc, Oti, Bono East, and Savannah regions. You are from Oti. Briefly, before Mr. Yando chimes in on it, because me person they are not reacting to their Wobekano. Who feel Oti Honum? Have you seen anything like this happening within this time?
Yeah, because who's the tidal waves, they are natural, unforeseen events. But the passion, the agency, and the reaction cry of the president during the recent tidal waves for Keta, around South, Keta's voter South, you could see clearly that President Mahama, is committed to making sure that tidal waves, will find a lasting solution by building seatbelts and all that. Apart from that, initially, because it is an unforeseen kind of natural accident, so but when the president visited Volta region, quickly he instructed the finance minister to include in the budget a compensation package for those who were affected by the recent one they see, Okay, and I believe strongly that president has demonstrated leadership. When Kojina Volta region and country say after all, they don't vote for him, so he's supposed not to come there. He didn't say that like former President Nana Akufo-Addo made those assertions when he visited Volta. And I think
so you're saying he has fulfilled that.
No, but I'm saying putting it in the budget alone means that there's a provision made in that regard. By going forward as a state, I think this the thing happening, we compensating, we go back to the drawing board, we wait, it happens, and then we come to compensate. We have compensation is kind of compensate. It can have it can take care of an artificial intelligence that can prevent the event from happening. And the president is engaging those stakeholders and
my quick reaction from Mr. Yando. Quick reaction from Mr. Yando. Now, Yambra back to some of the other pointers, please. Mr. Yando. OT region compensation for the flood. For victims of the disasters and all that. When who said President here Bibisa within this time, and I look like a baby.
unfortunately, the dog can't be anywhere. But I will just react to question here. Who be some Mrs. here? Me pacho budget here. Okokan ye. Atu force okokan ye. The tea any say. Wa allocate specifically. Me pacho specifically. Water rating. Tidal waves. What you say? Tidal waves. 200 million. Meanwhile, no, it is captured in your manifesto. Say you will compensate Sanko for Oti region, Puno and Savannah. Womunina were affected. Yes, sir. So if you ask me, on yes, I no. But because what I get a hono peno, a hopena or the 200 million Ghana cedi echo water raging for tidal waves. Abraye nyina so enimu ne say epo a wo Ghana ha no enye water raging kwa na bi ho.
But most of the disasters in the water region though.
Ebi was central region. What you say? It is a tidal wave.
So you can't be a problem.
I don't think about water region kwa na this again. And I say epona eda central ne west no ana Cape Coast no ehono emframa no ano nya de
na me pacho unim baby a Cape Coast tidal waves they cause the problem is our one. I was say this.
So what I'm saying is if the tidal waves na person who address it in the country as a result of EPOA eda regions in Mubia tidal waves happen with water region.
Yes, but water region they are happening that. So don't you think say soil no and send you worry about baby ANC? Don't you think that's
for years now no tidal waves they been see Cape Coast Takrade any greater Accra.
I don't know. That's you baby maybe say how the matters are buying and now we're also talking about the no ankasa kan you or say or single out these three places or say OT, right? Or say hold on a second. Let me get the actual way say the quote. Or say carry out or say initiate immediate steps to compensate flood victims, including those in Oti, Bono East, and Savannah regions. Okay, 3 particular regions. And that's what we are looking at. So baby
so far, they are watching our budget. You can't be a water region. What they mention how they can and san obey budget here Oti, Bono East, any Savannah there. I don't know where almost benya or musica. But the budget
part no on for failure.
Any Oti, any Bono East in Savannah there. Omunkope baby omenya omo compensation every because they are there a water region and a echo allocate there no about of which me feel say
to be full yes, but I say this is just like you said almost a Ghana for I don't really
Ghana for it's Argentina asema 2 years now single out one region now uja Bono East now uja Savannah for what you say na Oti for who said ja wo me feel say anya de a eye we ti and they say okay say obetua all registered footballers e wo Ghana ha nyina obetua wo muka. He's going to give salaries to all registered
120 days.
Me pacho.
Okay.
And also
I point understand me pacho piece and counting point and anka we pull ya mamina metimi already along with you.
Oh, and sports development.
Okay, customer me pacho.
Sports development. Pacho uti.
Me too pa.
And almost sports development, Eho and me pacho way so okay say obaya and mining energy me pacho mepɛ sɛ menya ɔmo ayi ne yie na metumi ɛka yie ma mo nyinaa motumi ɛte aseɛ eti ɛno nso so ɛyɛ under energy sustainable development pacho uti
Ethiopia.
Ɛhɔ under 8 ɛna watwerɛ promote responsible mining for sustainable development. Ɛhɔ ɛna wɔn a yɛte aseɛ sɛ ɔse I will place a ban on new mining activities in our forest reserves. What is a place ban on any mining activity? Mining man. Rather no, obekɔ no tesi akora de ayɛ west. Ɛhɔ our win constituency kora de ahemfo ɛne ahemafo ɛwɔ hɔ nyinaa no abɛka kyerɛ yɛ sɛ MP a yɛsi wɔn kɔ parliament ɛnkɔ hyɛ mmara ma Ghanafoɔ no MP na gya parliament na to hyɛ wura mu hɔ forest reserve hɔ ɛn wɔ tu galamsey eti na nanom aba abɛbɔ ne dua ɛde nantwie ne wodwan ne apɔnkye ɛtwitwa ne ti di mogya gu fam sɛ saa MP no ti wonim na wɔyɛ n'adwene sɛ wɔbɛyɛ ne MP ɛwɔ Awori constituency a minua ɛnya ade na nanom bɛte ase what is asɛm na anaasɛ wonte
Maintain.
Hey, minua wonte asɛm kɛseɛ sɛ na nanom na yɛ press conference
news ne dɔso ntɛnya ni na mɛte woso ka
yes we interested ɛwɔ Ghana nsɛm dia sɛ na nanom ɛyɛ press conference a it's totally different from their amayɔfoɔ no bɛyɛ but sɛ na nanom our constituency
I am not down funny too serious too much sir
when say bia baba mu a no mo hu ne sɛ aban no ayi n'ani afiri so anaasɛ aban no ayɛ hwɛ ha ɛno ti ɛna
sayando me pachopi mami bisa wasem John Mahama administration by 2 months or so you won't damage you share down 2 months until within these 2 months no and a bonny way nyina happen 8 years no na enko so na is that what you're saying is that what you
no enye no na make o but yes na ahemfo etima ba bontin say MP a yeyi no say onko parliament on say recently we follow Ghana ha your parliamentary attendance now almost say NDC for even though they are 187 and so they be no mo behia no minority na ye 88 no omo do so esen omo ye itmeboa and eno so nte
mind dia matepa but let's refocus
etianu ne decide say ne ye hwehwe ba bia NDC MPs no omo wo
no mo nyina do to galamsey
what you say na no Awori no ebeka kire ye say MPs ye hwehwe wo mo no ba ko ehye forest reserve ewo no na etu galamsey no
I see okay all right
you know was say wo mu forest ni wo mu nsuo eti na nanu mu bu afu eti aye mo wan say want is asem kese say
mate afedia mate
what you say
cement ya na dia mate
afedia what
me moving on me moving on
yeah mama ebe promise here say he will place a ban on mining activities up till now ubekọ sesi ano galamsey site no amanfo bodily oma mount NDC flag
really
NDC NSC bisa Erastus unte say Erastus
Erastus can majedi say Erastus can majedi of course but mami bisa mami let me say one thing
what Erastus asem na oka what
me say me who NDC flag assembly but maybe say Erastus say Erastus can say oh nana me ni na emi no pe but me patropi my ento aso they make obia de emi no enye dia me nsumi hu nyina na nsusu hu enti dia me ento aso asema make sisi ani say for 8 years right so ansemi a wo kan nyina no the NPP government could not handle it but within 2 months you know John Mahama is supposed to handle all of that on 120 days 120 days but you think sir within this time he should have been able to all of these things
that me pacho ti yen ka say 2 months ya na onye ni nyina o na do time no e kodru level a labor unions nyina ni lecturers ni obia no call strike mebo a
so nyina call strike what to be crowd
yes oh me pacho utie ma say uma me flow me wadaro
me too
wo mu call strike say senior galamsey no adru e wo ha no yensu wansu nyina ni ye foreign reserve nyina no asai etika the first thing was say kajo mahama winning ya e was say ko ye ni say by this time no anka 2 months no 2 months entimi ma ensu ani ntiana
hardly ensured many years and the report in case you don't know but let
labor unions nyina no akọ strike there should be your first priority should be your first priority anka eba ye no ano what deploy soldier force and wine for now so I was Ghana
ha moral right Krampo the share moral right to say we now
any forest I was Ghana ha no minua e draw so esin soldier for ye wana
oh nana mebo mibisa say wo no under your government 8 years Adena said you are the same person who are putting pressure on Obi to fix it within 2 months. That's why I lose it with what you're saying.
There was a strike action. There was a strike action. What you said? There was a strike action
against the government that you are speaking for.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that government was responsible for the problem in the first place. And that same government is the one that's telling us within 2 months.
When there's a strike action now, Uber immediately now you place a ban on it.
No, you don't tell the government what to do. The government has its own plan. I believe so. But me doc.
But people were able to tell Nanado government what to do. Say if you don't do this,
Nanado hardly did anything that people said.
So okay, say you don't tell the government what to do. How was it possible? Say union leaders they were able to tell Nanado say if you don't place a ban.
This is what I mean. Maybe I chose my words wrong. Maybe I chose my words wrong. But this is what I mean. Maybe this is what I mean. Maybe Doc, let me make this quick point. What I mean is this: you have your suggestion. Everybody has different opinions. The government chooses what to do, right? That's what I meant. So I don't mean say you don't have a right to tell the government what to do. That's not what I meant at all. Doc,
very well said, very well said, we're correcting. It's media, in my opinion. No.
We'll come back to this.
I mean, you just take MPP government as something different.
I'm interested to listen to it.
Me say, Kwesi, enya iroho, enya nyachum. Anya Mobo said, a wound to me boy who have been a beneficiary of Galamsey for 8 years. Who you wound to me boy? Who deep down your head? Who deep down your head? Who you say a quantum mining? I Galamsey, which you are a beneficiary of which for 8 years. You have the moral
allegedly till it goes to court, Abi.
You have the Paul, who have moral temerity to question John Mahama. Less than 3 months government said, yeah, Abana Galamsey I escalate. I mean, who does that? Who does that? I mean, you even say before you now Krabeka about Tenwa. It shouldn't be you, Paul, because who you want to me, boy? You benefit from wound to me, and when wound to me benefit from illegal mining. So you don't talk about it. Okay, President Mahama Ebayi said Kafra, illegal mining is a national problem. Previous government is facing it. All right, and dealing with it in a sustainable direction wouldn't just be solved a day. And it's nearby various sectoral stakeholders engagement. Education is going on. Economic dialogue, energy sector, natural reserves. I mean, we end this before and promises there wouldn't be mining in Ghana. There will be legal, responsible, and very modern mining. And say issue because it wouldn't even make any sense. Say who was Kakoko now so now come there. And it would also make sense that Sikani omani nyina de na a few individual na mo for machines akosa nsuo are risking people's health for your personal benefit. So the NDC promised responsible mining, anything now as initiative to ensure that we have a regulated mining in Ghana. We train small scale miners. We equip them with the necessary equipment. Yeah, from gold board. The gold board is going to regulate how gold is mined, how gold is refined, and what value gold carries within and beyond Ghana. And you know, it is quite disturbing. Now, how can I say, he was expecting President Mahama so your mama solve tidal waves problem within 2 months. Now, Kufuor now government 8 good years. If the problems of Ghana can be resolved that fast, would President Mahama come and meet problems again? Say, ensure now tidal waves are happening in Volta region. Now, President, agent compassionately, I can respond to another say, or say in the interim, let's fix some amount of money in the budget. Then if I resolve that problem, you are expecting the president to come and also compensate something that happened in OT, something that happened in Cape Coast, something that happened in Brona Halfo years ago. Precisely so under your government. If it is that doable, if it is that easy, I don't think I could afford among conversations. So I believe strongly that MPP communicators should just tone down. I mean, I know they are still going through some sort of melancholic syndrome of their huge defeat. I mean, I have a belief that I don't do that much partisan talking. If it's wrong for NDC and it's wrong for MPP, we must say it. But MPP communicators, they should give us some 2 good years to have the moral temerity to question this government in its actions. Okay? Because for the past four months, you had opportunity as a government, you speak for Ashanti Regional MPP. MPP party had opportunity for the past 4 years to solve the problem you want the government to solve in 2 months. For the past 8 years, your government had opportunity to deal with Galamsey with all it can. But the government national Ayashahain and Galamsey was carried out with impunity, including your own boss, whom you benefited so much from. And you are a beneficiary of what you are thinking is bad. I believe strongly Galamsey is bad. I have not heard it actually.
Oh, wow. Before say me
I've not heard it.
Ghana, but also so.
At least.
Okay.
Yeah, me Ghana. I mean, I do most of my times in Accra and then probably weekends in the region. Me Masumanti, I am a social media fanatic. I'm almost on social media. And here now, no one is answering that free say. And if I can't bo MP, do I say wakwe or the Galamsey? You get it. So what we telling them and they say, see, President Mahama has a simple message and promise that he met a sinkhole Ghana, a Ghana that is disrupted beyond repairs. That is why we are resetting it, and we are resetting money. And trust me, in the next 4 years, we'll reset Ghana, and Ghana will be formidable because the Ghana we inherited under Akufo-Addo, trust me, it is a bullshit. Excuse my language. And all the problems he's already seen, they didn't appear magically. They existed before we came, actually. So if the MPP knows how to do it, if the MPP knows how to fix it, if the MPP has the integrity and the competence to fix it, they could have done that. So I mean, I don't think an Ashanti regional director of the MPP communications, who is a fan of Untumi, the owner of Akonta Mining, has the moral temerity or moral right to come and tell the whole world, they say, President Mahama and me fighting Galamsey within 2 months in government. Like, seriously.
Okay, Doc, let's wrap it up. And in your estimation, halfway through the projected self-imposed 120 days, first 120 days now, which areas do you think the president has fulfilled the promises or is on the way to fulfilling those promises? And which areas do you think he hasn't tackled yet?
Remarkably, education. We are progressing there. I mean, the promise is a bit first year's tuition fee. Those who get admission to the university, first year of their tuition fee, government's all absorbable. I mean, that is fixed in the budget. It is established. Quantum amount of money have been allocated to the Ministry of Education to take care of that. President Mahama, nationalistic and consensus Ghana, our Baba build it without leaving other political actors out. The bipartisan promise now, or the common Ghana for now, people come together in a democratic revolution against the MPP. We are doing it. And it's about a dialogue, a national dialogue on energy, national dialogue on education, national dialogue on this and on. I mean, the trajectory the president is towing is really, really good. The only aspect now, president, so far, I felt like, in my candid opinion, without malice, felt like he had a little challenge, has to do with the gender balancing or the gender quantum or cabinet.
Yeah.
Right. That one, it is an excess already. But I also believe strongly because, the promise of 60 ministers and the number of ministers we had in parliament, very quality ministers. So it becomes a bit difficult. Yeah. It becomes a bit difficult to do some of the things. That's the only excess. The quantum of female representation or cabinet or from Kakra. And on that is the only thing I think so far. I mean, it's a bit of a deficiency on our part. But
let me ask you though, does he even have enough of a pool to draw from? Does he have enough women in active politics to draw from to make the balance?
Well, in the context of our engagement, I mean, we've got a reasonable number of women in parliament on the ticket of the NDC. I mean, most are very well experienced. Some are two terms, 3 terms people in government. I believe it says Zenato Rollins and other women are in parliament. I believe strongly they could have been part of the government and be part of cabinet. But like I said, the discretion is a constitutional discretion and it remains that of the president, right? That of the president. But I am saying this because I am a human rights practitioner, a human rights law practitioner, and a human rights advocate. And I believe that we are looking at affirmative bill, inclusivity of, the minority in the society, where I believe strongly that the number of women in cabinet is not that enough. So that going forward, this should guide probably governments that may come after President Mahama, or even President Mahama. There will be reshuffles and other things. So he had the opportunity to reshuffle his ministers, and you have to reconstitute a cabinet. Probably, I think the number of women should be a bit considerable. Apart from that, the finance minister engagement with other people for economic dialogue, the energy minister John Abdullah Jinapo engagement with players of the energy ministry and other people, you could see clearly that the president is fulfilling its promise. Or can it be about laying off of some number of public sectors service workers? We did that because the recruitment from day one is malified. It carries malice intent. All right. Because you know very well, why lose the election December 7th? You are not going to control budget of the country after that election. You are not going to be the spending officer of the election of the country after that election. So the decision to bombard the state payroll with workers it carries ulterior motive. It carries malice. And without caution. We caution the government even during campaigns that on malicious recruitment into public sector, just to burden the current government with salary payment and other things, when you don't stop it at a bar, such appointment which we believe that carries malice, avoid ab initio, means they are invalid from the beginning. The national chairman, communicators of our party, we mounted a campaign platform and made this clear to everybody that if the appointment the president is doing at that time, look at the sensitivity of the election, where we go, we will, the direction of the election, and how the NDC are won or will be winning the election. Your appointment by Akufo-Addo after January 7th or after December 7th is void ab initio. It is invalid from the onset. And anything that is invalid remains invalid. That is what we told them. And we made it clear before the revocation of same appointment. So the MPP should get it clear that, and we didn't ambush Ghanaians, we didn't promise them white and we are giving them black. What we are doing, we said it, that the government didn't stop. Now the government wants to overburden our government with, such quantum of employment. Such employment are void ab initio. They are invalid from the onset. And that is what we've just done. We've done what we told them. There is no dishonesty on our part.
Okay.
So I believe that, in short, general assessment, we are on course. When you want to rate us per this projected 120 days, I think we've had almost 95% green, 95% right. The 5% essence is where I have a challenge with the female
gender balance.
The gender balance. And that one, it is from my belief as a human rights advocate that the women actually could have been a bit more than what we have at the moment.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abraham Boafo. Doc, you wrote a piece that I would like to engage you on later on. We'll find time and sit for a one-on-one and engage on some of the erudite stuff that you've put out there, and hopefully be able to engage or put out some great narrative.
That's okay.
Thank you very much for finding time for us today. As I said, we'll be reaching you from time to time. Thank you so much, Dr. Abraham Boafo. Dr. Boafo is the Deputy Regional Secretary for the National Democratic Congress in the OT region. We will be right back with your second interview after this break.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
Making healthy food choices are a daily challenge for most people. You see, the food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Introducing the Green Health Pharmacy and Functional Medicine Clinic that gets to the root cause of your disease. We present to you the True Green Foods brand that allows you to enjoy healthy food options without sacrificing the foods you love. True Green Foods have low-carb swallow options for fufu, banku, tuozafi, eba, kenke, amala, and semovita. Good tasting and supremely delicious without compromising blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, weight management goals, and all diseases that one may be battling with. They also have a low-carb replacement for oatmeal, grits, and cream of wheat, which are highly dense in carbohydrates. Check out Alta Oats, Beta Oats, Clean Oats, as well as Kajma porridge and cream of lacca when you visit our shop. The breakfast options are not just delicious, but meet the standards of an anti-inflammatory diet. All True Green Foods are all diabetic friendly. Find Green Health Pharmacy in Woodbridge, Virginia, or call us on 703-670-3640. WhatsApp 571-300-5039. Find us on IG at Green Health Farm. There's no better way for a healthy lifestyle. Remember, your health is your wealth.
Welcome to Tucson Hotel, your ultimate home away from home. Located in the serene town of Ejisu Echakrom, just off the Jabin Road, we offer you a haven of comfort and luxury. Step into our fully air-conditioned 40 bedrooms, where modern elegance meets convenience. Whether you choose our normal, standard, deluxe standard, or executive rooms, each one is equipped with Wi-Fi and DSTV, ensuring that you stay connected and entertained throughout your stay. Indulge your taste buds at our exquisite bar and restaurant, where our skilled chefs prepare a wide range of culinary delight to satisfy every palate. From local delicacies to international favorites, we have something for everyone. Planning a business meeting or a special event? Look no further than our state-of-the-art conference hall. With a capacity to accommodate 80 to 100 people. It is the perfect venue for your corporate gatherings or social celebrations. But that's not all. We proudly boast the largest recreational center in the Ejisu municipality. With a capacity to accommodate up to 2,000 people, it is the ideal location for concerts, weddings, and other grand events. It comes with 4 fully air-conditioned bedrooms and a kitchen as one package. Our luxury cars are also available for rent. Drive like a boss. To experience true hospitality and unmatched comfort, contact us today. Our friendly staff is ready to assist you. You can reach us at 0244 654 458, 0246 505 327, or 0241 418645. You can also email us at info@tucsonhotel@gmail.com. Tucson Hotel, your home away from home.
Which I thought was very, very significant because the European Union and France in particular. So ECOWAS is a very important vehicle through which France is able to maintain its economic exploitation infrastructure with which it ravages West Africa. So if ECOWAS were to dissolve, France would basically become Portugal, basically a total has-been of the country, just maybe with nuclear weapons, which it can't use. So France obviously is not going to let that happen very, very easily. Yeah. Without a fight. So what I suspect will happen is that France and the EU will start pumping increasing amounts of money into ECOWAS. I saw a headline earlier today saying that ECOWAS is planning to finally introduce that long-awaited common currency, the ECO. 2026, and I was thinking to myself, right, this organization was formed in 1975. So you've had how many years is it now? How many decades is it now? And only now, when the AES has made it clear that they are working on their own common currency, you can clearly see that they are actually going to accomplish this within a 2 or 3 year time frame. Now you want to rush and say you want to rush out our own ECO to sort of front run the AES so that you can claim that in putting together a common currency that you are achieving the goal
Yeah.
and African goals of economic convergence. And you and I know that if such a currency were to be, first of all, it's very unlikely that it's actually going to happen. But if it were to actually happen, you and I know it's been managed by an external entity.
Of course.
Right? To be a French and German controlled currency, it would not be an African currency. So what is the point? Right? I'd rather deal with the Ghanaian cedi and it's the constant erosion of value. I'd rather deal with that than deal with a currency which is basically an offshoot of the French economy or the European economy. Because at the very least, with all the problems that the Naira or the cedi have, at the very least they are suffering. At the very least, even if in the real sense of it, when you're spending Naira or cedis, you're still spending US dollars because those currencies, the way those economies have been set up is that
their strengths are based on the US dollar, anyhow.
Yeah.
But
so at the very least, when it comes to decisions like sovereign decisions, like a country being able to raise debt, for example, Ghana and Nigeria can take those decisions, sovereign decisions. The countries under the CFA franc, for example, they cannot. Right. So if you are Cote d'Ivoire and you want to, so let's say the Pokwase interchange in Accra, right? That was debt funded, right? The Ghanaian government took a sovereign decision to raise debt to build infrastructure, right? Which is what the government is supposed to do. A government in Benin or in Cote d'Ivoire or in Togo is not allowed to do that. You have to go to France and ask them for permission, and the Banque de France has to approve this project or whatever it is. So scaling that up to a West African level, why would I want to subject myself to that? So, I don't even want that to happen in the first place. If there's going to be a West African currency, I want it to be a West African currency which is sovereign. So, but the larger point of what I'm trying to say is that I believe that they will start throwing out more of these sort of tricks and red meat to try and distract people. Right? They know very well. If you recall, it took 25 years for ECOWAS to actually produce an ECOWAS passport. This organization was instituted in 1975. It wasn't until the year 2000 that we actually had a passport with the ECOWAS logo on it. It took 25 years. Because I used to visit Ghana as a child. I remember what my old Nigerian passport used to look like. And there was a whole thing. When you were traveling across borders, there was a whole thing. When you're traveling from Nigeria to Benin, you cross the border. Then from Benin to Togo, you cross the Ilakonji border. Then from Togo to Ghana, you cross the Aflao border. Oh my goodness. It was such a, it wasn't until the year 2000 that these issues started actually being solved. So it took 25 years just to produce a passport. The AES has done it in 3 years.
Look at that.
So they know that the AES is a serious organization and these guys are going to accomplish these things because frankly, they are not rocket science. They know. So what they're going to do is try and throw out all these narrative distractions now and try and muddy the waters so that people will not be able to say that the AES is doing this thing that ECOWAS hasn't been able to do. So they're going to start trying to rush out these things in a very haphazard manner. And I don't think it's going to work. However, I also think that if there's one problem with African political consciousness, and I'm not talking about the leaders this time, I'm talking about the people. Africans suffer from this thing called inertia, which basically means that if something has been this way for a long time, Africans seem to believe that means that that's how it's supposed to be.
You shouldn't rock the boat.
It cannot be any other way. So revolutionary decisions and actions, historically, most Africans have not been able to key into those things, which is why people like Kwame Nkrumah are such unicorns, because their temperament and their personality and their ability to get things done is at great variance with how the majority of the population
with the common
operates.
Yes.
So it is what it is, but we have to wait and see.
We do. David, let me show you this image, right? And we're talking about posture. You did bring that up already, but I want you to not spend too much time on that so we can move to the other thing that we want to do, which is how the rest of Africa views Ghana. But look quickly at this image for me, please. And a few years ago, Nigerian president, our own Nigerian president, and our own Ghanaian president who just went out, had a very unfriendly posture towards the AES. Looking at this, right, I had a Facebook post which garnered a bit of humor, right? But look at this posture right here. This is Ibrahim Traore welcoming Akufo-Addo to Ouagadougou. Now, this wasn't the COVID period by any stretch of the imagination. We know he loves to bump fists and all of that, right?
Yes.
But just look at the body language. Now, compare that. Compare that to this. Excuse me.
Chalk and cheese, night and day.
Right?
Night and day.
And even further, look at that. Look at the posture with the vice president. And this actually, brought up some discussion. He actually took off his hat.
Yes.
And shook her hand. Like the level of respect, the level of just the body language. It's right there. You can feel that these are two countries that are very friendly towards each other versus that. And I dread to see the image of Traore and Tinubu.
I don't think there's any such image.
And the funny thing, when he was at John Mahama's inauguration, Tinubu was there too. He was the guest of honor. And the applause.
And everybody ignored him, and everybody was
basically, and the applause that followed Traore when he was announced, just with this image as a guiding point. Tell us, what do you see about the body language between let's use Burkina Faso as representing the AES and Ghana, and by extension, the other African countries surrounding us in that region?
So the very interesting thing about Ghana is that it's a very unique country in West Africa in the sense that regardless of who happens to be the president at any point in time, I'm not sure whether this is as a result of some of the guiding principles that were put in place by Kwame Nkrumah, or whether Jerry Rawlings has to take some credit for that as well, because I know he also played an important role in all of this. But Ghana has always been viewed as a country which it always tends to operate along some sort of Pan-African principles. Not necessarily, a lot, but some. Which is why, for example, in my case, when I had to flee Nigeria for my safety, and I didn't want to go to a Western country, because I knew that a lot of what I was going to be doing was going to be in conflict with the ideologies of these Western countries. So I cannot be in London and be attacking the British establishment. I have to be in Africa. That's how come I chose to locate myself in Ghana, because historically Ghana has always been a place that Africans generally tend to think of as the sort of Pan-Africanist Mecca.
Like a Mecca, yeah. Of course.
Right, that regardless of who is president, regardless of whether the person is corrupt, or regardless of those issues, Ghana is still the Black Star. Right. Regardless of whether it's having a hard time, whether there's doomsday or whatever, Ghana still operates along certain principles which are almost inviolable. Right. So under the previous president, and I'm going to try very hard not to criticize him, because again, this was the administration under which I was offered asylum in Ghana. So you have to understand, it will be very churlish of me to bite the finger that fed.
Well understood.
So, but under the previous administration, you do have to say that perception of Ghana was definitely starting to suffer, not just among the AES, but even generally in Africa, because you have this spectacle where you have the head of state talking to a foreign nation, and it's almost as if that it's like a school kid reporting
exactly
class teacher. Let's talk about how there's the Wagner Group in Burkina Faso and whatnot. And it's like, even from a diplomatic point of view, you don't do that.
Very proper.
You don't do that. That's in my opinion, that's a mistake. You don't do that, right? Even if you're going to make such an accusation, you say it in deliberately vague terms, and you don't name names. It's a diplomatic mistake, and clearly that was not well received at all in the AES campus. I know this because I speak to these people, or at least their media extensions. I speak to them quite often, and I knew that this did not go down well at all, and it created a lot of bad blood. And why that was a very complicated situation is that, as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of ethnic Burkinabes who live in Ghana. And not just Burkinabes, also Nigerians as well who live in Ghana. There are a lot of West Africans who move in and out of Ghana, because Ghana is that place in West Africa where even if you're an African American or an Afro Caribbean, Ghana is that place where you feel like, as long as you have West African heritage, you feel like this place is welcoming to you. Ghana is that country that understands what it means to be Pan-Africanist, right? So you have this large population of people in this country, and then at the same time, you're starting to have this idea that maybe this might be changing. Maybe these people might not be welcome anymore. Maybe Ghana's positioning, which has existed since the days of Kwame Nkrumah, maybe it's going to change permanently, which is a terrible thought. All these issues were starting to come up. I personally witnessed a number of these conversations. I was in Kenya at the time, and this thing was being talked about as far away as Kenya. And the perception was, are the tectonic plates in West African geopolitics shifting? Is Ghana becoming a fully Western aligned country in a way that it has never been before? What is happening? Is Ghana turning into Nigeria or Cote d'Ivoire? What's going on here? But to be honest, it's a very, very big relief that the new president seems to have understood that that's a very dangerous road to go down. Even if you say that, you don't want to recognize the AES because of this, again, those misdirections, that, it's authoritarian, they took power in a coup, they seized power from democratically elected. Even if you say that's what you want to do, regardless, you don't create enemies with your next door neighbors. You just don't do it.
Just not smart.
It's just not a clever thing to do.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
All right, you're welcome back to the show. Thank you very much for staying. It's time for our reports from across the country. And in a quick minute or so, I should have the man called Justice Mafo in the studio to help me with that. Newsroom, is Justice ready?
Culture TV, Africa, from an African perspective.
Okay. All right. So we welcome back to the show. It's time for our reports. Let's cut straight to the man called Justice Mafo in the Ashanti region of Ghana. Onya Justice.
Boss.
What you saying?
Nyanko Pandom, boss. Now say.
Nyanko Pandom. Fire call.
Any Dr. Fred Adomako Boatin Oba Asanteman na him group Kumasi ha titira Asanteman ha health directorate wa happening kwankyerɛ fo a wɔda no de na no dwumadie bi ahyehyɛ so sɛ 2-day forum a ɛkɔ so Asanteman na him group Kumasi a asentitire da so yɛ strengthening primary healthcare PHC strengthening primary healthcare through network of practice NOP or the nanu dwumadie yi hyehyɛ so ana ɔmo kyerɛ mu sɛ assessment ahodo a akɔso free 2020 edibesi afi 2024 ɛna no ɔmo hwɛ ɔmo modern bo a asoɛyɛ no abo free 2020 no edibesi 2024 na ɛno na saa ɔmo report no kɔ wi aseɛ no ɔmo yɛ assessment ne yɛ review ne wieyɛ no report of the told Jano a free 2022, edibesi 2024. Now, Mokasa Chirimu said, Omo de boy performance no, Omo de si money to send, Omo be senka, target Nankasano be 80%. Now, so Ekoria Siena, Omo 2020 no, Omo Timi achieve 80.6%. Now, 2023 and so Omo Haya, Ebo Mohomodema, Omo performance and also it may boost could do 95.7%. Now 2024 na kasa no so na ko mo hwede mu say o mo target no ko mbe attain 80%. Now so no so timi kwa ni mo boost could do 94.5%. Na dwumade ya se na pani kwankyerefo a woda so ye na no Dr. Fred Adomako Boatin kasa kyire mu say o mabɔ mo homɔden yie pa. A doctor for wa Asanteman ha bɔ mo homɔden yie pa titiro Konfuanochi ayare sabia ewo Asanteman na hinkro Kumasi Bantama also mabo Muhammadi yepa na se newsroom aye krado video no on bo video no maye wo bra Dr. Fred Adomako Boatin kasa wo sa 2-day forum a omode hihye so na twetwa mu yi
and external audit recommendations implemented for 2022 in Ashanti region was 88.6%. For 2023, it was 95.7%. And for 2024, the region had a figure of 94.5%. And this is against the target of 80%. The family planning acceptance rates have an upward projection from 22.5% in 2020, 28.2% in 2021, 27.4% in 2022, 31.7% in 2023, and in 2024, we had 32.6% against a target of 40%. Proportion of mothers who made at least 4 ANC visits was 74% in 2020.
And penny kwankyerefo a woda Ghana Health Service Health Director Asanteman ha Dr. Fred Adomako Boatin na yakote ne nkano na anso hono mo a penny bi so ekasa echire mu se Ghana Health Service ene Health Ministry no penny kwankyerefo a woda Health Ministry na no kwabra minta kando won hwe na ayaresabia hodo wa Asanteman ha no omone yema omu hia no won hwe na onhwe na ontoto niema se de be ya betime gina ne naso yie pa na akwanko yesa abandada no penso eniema no omu hia no na mpanimfo no pii na no eya na omubu omani gusu eno nti no onhwe na ontoto eniema na yebetu faane de ani akire MPP wosono kukuruku amanyukuo no akache panin baako a na okasa de makuo no eye communications officers a oboda amanyukuo na no baako ye frɛ no Dr. Yawo Adomako Baafi wakire mu akasa kire mu di ntira MPP amanyukuo no edi ntwo 2024 elections no omo lose ye na ne kasa no a no ɔka no nyinaa gyina the Ghanaian media a ɔmo ebu ɔmo ani gu so relationship aneda ɔmo ne nsɛntwerɛfoɔ ntamu ɛne titiri media ne ntamu no ɛyɛ ade a ɔmo anhyɛ mu kena as compared to the National Democratic Congress the way ana ɔmo ne media ne sitie no ɛno nso so ka ho bi ɛna ma MPP amanyɔkuo no edi ntwo sɛ video na yɛ ready a newsroom mommo Dr. Yawadoma Kobafi a video no ma
in the beginning.
I am any new patriotic party. You can omo ne
media no de senia obesi aye no so ti ase penifo aso buhu kokura yitwa bi eni nti no wofo obi asadamfo amemi tuwe mi ni kapre nanso party mu pa no nipa nsantwerefo pe na se ba akone me yese bia be nsantwere ni eye kasade eye ahoho a eni nti no yakoye nimu no nia yehwe ase no yenkan ba bia hwe ase no na yen sorry free yen ahwe ase mu enu betimi dia boyen santwerefo de so obi a wanya daji asua santwere dwuma no ene se na ebusie badwuma no ontoto mase because every morning so ye host so ye news editor emre bia no through agenda setting through priming and framing ono and numerous a year da hono no o de be choose na consistently no pass ye tie it would obet me do general secretary obet me do chairman se wonni madwuma ne se ye sitie no a woni betie no wada na nsa gu abonten me I've never supported that that say the media sitie bia no fanadamfo na people kura de ne no ntem eye yen na criminal label law ye free ho yen na information act ye de bae yen na whistleblowers act ye free ho ekoba ne sense ne no the synergy the relationship wa ye woni obi de mu no yakofom kakra achia ne mui esa bebu nyina se ani ba ye mo so ne esa ba the media naturally they are for MPP but the drew baby na say na ye ho tey do ntimo pamba bi ntra ene ye ne be that it
Radio culture.
any I see you Dr. Yawadoma Kobafi and I born video no enti amane born me de besi ha
yo that's Isabedawa CP quality reporting as always. Next week make sure say sign enya more reporting from you and from the other reporters in newsroom. What's going on? Yeah, well, other reports and other reports be a day, but please let me know. If not, we can just move on and move on to the next segment. Please let me know. Newsroom.
No apology, but I'm in me
elections in no be war, now. And politicians lie we before, no be today. So no matter who you they vote for, remember the children, the mothers and the babies, and think of peace. We stand for peace, we stand for love, united as one people. For better Ghana, let's find our ways. Standing for peace, you and I stand for peace. You and I stand for peace. You and I stand for peace. For better Ghana, gateway to Africa.
All right, that will do for the report for today. We go straight to our next segment. Emma Formula is a female-only segment where we engage the other gender from mine. You know what I'm talking about. And assume if we're ready, let's go straight for Emma Formula. Are we ready?
We want peace.
Memo akwaba edeba iCulture TV so. Dwumadie sonko a iCulture TV for ede aba ene Emma Formula. Sa dwumadie yi yenuanom ma ene maamenom eche wonadwen efa de ekoso wo man ni mu ene mantamu. Ne santi ene me abro no manya akọ. Me wo fori krom Awunaga Junction. Ne ene enuanom ma ene maamenom eba betwetwe nkomo afa de ntia ye bom ma bayie dodo na echen emema enti di machi na ka me ho e wa abra ye ne maame no ene enuanom ma ekwa kwotwetwe saa enkomo yi Pacho me mo akwa ba de ba agriculture TV so.
Eu me joso.
Na pacho odin de say.
Me din de mami nyamesem.
Davis corner. Davis corner.
Pacho e frame me boat.
Boat.
E frame me kuya mensa.
De say.
Frame me Lucy mensa. Me de do na frame ohiani.
Ohiani. Me pacho me question ne say. Adan ti na ye bom ma bayie. Na mom ye mom me ma bayie e wa Ghana ha say.
We de me da wase ne wunsem bi sei. Ye ka beyi a beye nye se obi tu anajo. Na mom ne ye bi oho nipa ne daadi. E na kire se nipa ne ebeyifo. Na de nta ye ka se ma ye ya beyisem more than a man ne se e ma ni bi oho na ye suban ye daadi. Eno na ma ye kire se nipa ne ebeyifo. E bi ti se sei. Nipa ne ni brade ohun se bibi wonu yonko ba ho no so pese onye bi saa behavior eda beye because bi oye beyifo bia ni brade afa so bible so ne ni denden de ma make say no ni saa to me ni bi o ne ni denden obi ntokwa obeje akon asema emfa no obeje saa ne ye no so obi gina chire na ohwe nipa no de all portrait na we ka sister ida se bibi shine ni ase ba make sense no ni saa to me ni bi.
The entire bomb my bay and he said, Bibia, a wedding bia, we are assisting, say, a man Cassano. Bay any do more be and Cassanca would near crutches away a bay for. Aha, the entire Missy will near a bay for say, Boa, and why ya wouldn't it if ya, ahoy ya when you would obey a beer money behind an inch. Aha, no, not just say we are bay for.
Say, what we are, or here. Debia e bo bayi na emomo no so ye sikani dia na so ye bayifo kra obi ani ho beka
nti wuji tum se bayi wo ho
o bayi de bi wo ho bayi bi wo ho e wo ho e wo ho pa na emomo no wonhu nipa se bia we ya na we e na ye bayi no so sa
mi ma dwen kire ni se ye se anye ma eti sa wunya nyini kakra na sa uba na sa bibi uba no a na sa oye panimu a e be ka se be ye nukura woni bi kura be ka se wo ye beifo nti wo na wo ye uba ne sa nti abrowa mu no sa na obi adwen e ma ye uba no na sa wo ya akatesi ade a ye mbu se ye mbu mfa ho na wo nyini kakra ne di a e me se wo ye beye nso na wo le bi ti na edi be ye na abo sa na ti
say ma de your age bia ye do sa age na aya na ye ni ye ne sisa kakra ha ye niama first ni na enye sa na ye no na sa na enyame aboyen mema no so de omo de nsuo sa ha ye sisa kakra nti e ba sa na ye ni ya sisa nti ni omo nti ya se ne hu ya omo dwan adwen foforo de mai nti se ma ye ne ye wo nti awo ho ya no nti esi ehu bone a ye ka nti de bia ya baifo sa na me de me hunu because akwala na ye bone a na obi ye bone a wuntimi mia wano nkasa wu mia wano won kasa nti de bia ye kasa bebre nti esi ya baifo na mo ye nhwe be ye na nkasa ene sa na dwuni pa no ni huhu mu free ni mu akọ baabi akọ ye sa aneoma no se ye fa ni percentage ya na ma no doso se mema no eno nti na mo ka se ema no ya baifo se mema no ene mema no so ayo mu di sie on na di ma wu se o wo sa 2 minutes ni mu ene nti na mo bo ma be ye bebre se mema
nipa na ti ade na wo se ye
se wo hwe wo ye e wo ne ho enye sa na jo do wo beko aha
nti mpacho ogidi se bayi wo
ho pa ade ni ho na ni din e wo ho nti na wo din no
Chema sa o mayo me de mema na nya abaifo
mema ni de o mo beyie ne ba kwa che ma pem aha o me de fe o mo friend say be bonsam aha oba bema ba ku beyie no e chema oha so ho no ni beye na ya na no ode ankasa aha
Beti ya ma no ne dan na di mo.
aha ye man ye ni ye kura kire beye de man de o mu wo bi ankasa aha
bɛyie wɔ hɔ
Ti ma no just ye njintu ya ho so se beye ne de ye na wo ye ho.
oh dabi nyɛ sɛ wɔ man ko a hɔ ɛmɛma no bi nso yɛ bɛyie ebi wɔ wɔn so hɔ lemo ɛma dodoɔ no ara sɛ wɔn de bɛyie na ayɛ dɛ asoɛ yɛ sɛ man na yɛ bɛyifoɔ bɛrima bɛyie bɛba baako bɛyie na kyɛn nipa ɛma bɛ 100 bɛyie.
Oh, Debbie, and Tissa. Any Mamma Cra will be changing, or Mudia and wash. Minimum dear Basana Meccan.
Oh, but you don't want to buy any because they see who Quebec. Bama so there are some grow who are and a crack one woman and no seal. One kind of creno. A malady who petty was also. Near can't ever casa, the gas of my way before power. Yes, I'm no grana, and India.
Medemo ba ofori krom awunaga junction na ha na mrebe ma ye kwan ama ye de ma formula dwumadi ye de som no asie da senne ye besan hia.
Chrismark. Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
News 360. Any other works are all yen, a juma wo yen de boating, a switching woo. A juma no switching. The two could be able to be a boating or be able to be a boating or
Culture TV, Africa, from an African perspective.
It's a boating any money. Say a creatives and Asia, a year the Ashanti regional minister boating any money. Say a tourism site a year cohort Makwa videos be a dine Yemenis war boating our honor. Into boating the whole thing in introspective analysis. How would you define what human are, you know? And today I want us to center our conversation on blogging. And the other word, no, so you better share from this angle from how social media and the other blogging, you know, say students and now say students, especially on this social media issue, you know, of which and the about Ricky, you better what mommy, how you people are facing challenges, social media, anyhow, as students, you know, utilizing the platform. Is it in the positive or the negative? But I started with Ameya Boating. What do you know? Your work in our way, is it blocking? And I say, yeah, dear cry.
Okay, Meda was say once again for your opportunity. I think the last time we discussed a lot, and next we have chance to talk about this same issue, that is the digital world or the new media. I consider to be the new world that media a movie to. About your question, say at the end of me year because you be seeing me in different kind of money it's good. But your money tough to say something. be fixed for a net, maybe some other time, then we go into details of and never be brave. Okay, first of all, I mean, can say you can't what's na me I see myself as a product. A product, every brand or every client can associate with me personally as what's na me as a product. And I'm its owner. People can also go there to do business with. Depending on its own. When it comes to what's na me, no maybe a brand on its own. And I mean other brands like Africa. And I mean, Africa 360 News, a brand on its own. What we do is we just do documentaries, we produce documentaries, we do documentaries about people. Okay, yeah, sure. And see, what's na me also what's na me one news brand and it's a news harbor. You provide online news content for Ghana, and I say Ghana content. A brand like Africa 360 Hub now, me creative director. So when you talk about creative director, I say everything you need a client you deal with. When makes videos and everything, I say we are doing the right thing. So it go beyond blogging.
Okay.
And about what's now me one news now me as a blogger, me who see interviews into the where I work. And about the person say what's now me on me try pictures for artists, videos for artists, me blogging work for artists. And also on its own as what's now me individual person as a product. And see, this is me. They be able to different places. What I go do there, say, ahami kwewe. Yes, that is how is. Thank you, boss.
Yeah, now the I'm a person oh my pa no. It's about the work you do and the blogging the blogging aspects in Akasana. Because you said something, say what you do goes beyond blogging.
Okay.
That means as a blogger, and now say this blogging thing, does it have its limits? Does it have its requirements? And I said, what exactly? Any bit media classify say.
Let's like when John go.
What do you mean go?
I can't question it be man to
Okay, me say what can I say? Blogging now no, adwuma na woye no, it goes beyond blogging. I feel what you mean.
Sure.
Yes, adwuma na woye no goes beyond blogging. That means your fun is a blogging and kasana. Does it have its limitation? And now say one boundaries. Now say one boundaries so they are blogging, does it have its requirements? That is and near maybe a being here mobility me kasa assume see a blogger. And I said the blogging thing and kasa crana a dia.
Okay. For now, blogging is growing to the extent that even social media influencers, Ghana here, we consider them as bloggers. Now, YouTubers consider themselves as bloggers. But in the real definition of a blogger, beer or websites, or it will be the home. So let's assume that this airport, your website, now cultural article about this airport on my website. So that site, somebody at the control is a blog site. Me na make sure content about this thing, I could post, is the blogger.
Okay.
But now, any old social media influencers, these people are having social media numbers. They influence their followers on something. But now in Ghana here, them as bloggers. For now, your social media guys, they don't have websites, but still we consider them as bloggers because blogging,
okay.
And then be on a website, but still they consider them as bloggers. But what you say?
Yeah.
And then all these things and then you consider as bloggers now. Me fit in. I have websites that content, do social media. I started posting content on my social media platform. So all these things, I fit in as a blogger. I fit in as a social media influencer. But what you say?
Yeah, me too. So
before Obibeka said, or blogging, and also or into blog. you know, when you go to the olden days blog and ask the real definition of, and can say the panel in a website or throw articles about something, but and then because of social media, it's social media now you have the numbers, you are making media, you can still call yourself a blogger. Even YouTubers, so they call themselves bloggers, but the real definition for them is YouTubers. Or no YouTube videos in posting content on YouTube or a YouTuber, but now they consider themselves as bloggers. Yes.
Now, this blogging thing, has its own influence, especially as you made mention of, say, influencers be and those influencers, they turn out to be role models for the up and coming ones. That is the next generation. The youths are a fina or munyin eba. How and omojuma na omo content affect students. What the oko schools mu eko kodim komo ko church omo this digital world yade. What has been the negative thing about blogging? Ye being a large. Ama obia not the content be at all, being it interviewer.
So with that, the Biameka say if you get a chance to be on social media, try as much as possible to feed yourself with positive content. Content that is going to make impact first in the society. Content that is going to make impact second on your life. And ask yourself that after feeding yourself with this content, what are you going to benefit from? That should be one thing that I consider before accepting any content on social media or before clicking on any content on social media. I ask myself, what is the benefits I'll get after watching this or after reading this content? At the end of the day, it's my mind. So I have to feed my mind with something that is going to provide a quality result on my life.
Okay.
So I don't feed myself with just any content. I don't follow just trends. I don't follow people like, hey, yes, we your life. And I'll jump on the following day. You see me jumping on people's life. That is not me. I don't care how you see me. I don't care how you value trend. I don't care how you value famous or who is famous or whatever it is. I focus on what matters. I focus on myself. I focus on my mindset. It matters to me a lot. So I don't just allow just anything to feed myself. It's anything you see me on no. So the same thing I make country will be as say. Even it doesn't matter say I'm your content. If you feel like no, whatever I is saying is not going to help you, it's not going to build your it's not going to help you build yourself, it's not going to help you build a career for yourself. It doesn't matter say don't consume that content. Oh how
All right.
Focus on what matters.
Focus on what matters, and also focus on what will give you a great impact and now say will influence your life positively. May per se ye din kwara ne ho komo pa because omo ene the vulnerable ones no womo na a face in terms of how negative ade with the echo editia womo. Now Ricky, what's in ka with blogging, social media, anyhow and then kwadai obia wo phone, obia getting access to phone. How are you the teachers? The reception and how the students are responding to that? Yes, me too. The question, what me?
Mami fa kwenye bata miteba. Well, the kind of social media no kana any day. If you let people know the meaning of social media and finally about the impact that are there friend of social media no or students so. And then in people in general. Now I call the social media now a communication platform. If I'm able now call her to share ideas, create content, and then communicate with others to explore the world and non social media. Say it has said social media no, it has come to stay. And then start social media in a way, nine a year about 7 why, but the same social media I can watch. And no, idea, and no extra your more a big challenge most countries face. Anything I can say. The other social media now, the positive aspect, positive impact of social media on our daily life. Say students, even say akwara or what through social media no akwara let me access a lot of information with the help of that mobile phone. We mark assignment, we demand homework. With the help of social media, we can access for information. No one there. I teach no. In return, about work in terms of his or her education. And in terms of communication, say, you're communicating, you're collaborating, as well. Social media and Baba Brain. No cry on Cradu or what? So, Casa Ubianim Cran or Eddie. But through social media, Sakrabu or how, and I'm so who I want to meet Casu and him directly. Making the first social media, no, I can't how they are show. And here another positive side. But what to make that?
Mete won kapa. To asoma me. Yeah, mete won kapa to asoma me.
In terms of communication and then collaboration, social media no and then you say now in Ghana we are using a new curriculum of which now government sector in terms of resources but I say because of that social media it is easy to get learning resources. What school learning into your first baby and as a social career yes student empire boy and you tell me the choir pass to anything team of addiction to social media or may addicted Okufia so being a breakfast or funny note and get it and it's Cristiano that be obefa ako social media I ni kanwa and students no social media
Okay, Ricky, hold on for
now
me now.
Okay.
Ricky, what do you mean?
And
no, mess about one champion because wo na was school. Impact the best wash one more pa ye mamma na top gear again because then the speed now they can know things. You see what sounds so about you, and he happens to be the artist I have on the show today. You know, Nenyum and the can boy and I say about from what on match here. With that, you know, Ameyao, you will also attach certain blocking benefits here as an up and coming artist, me a deploy. Na abuana manenyum e pushy edi ako. You also be looking at that in terms of promotion and how they can get to bloggers to push their songs. And the Top Gear, welcome back once again. I mean, I'm more
fans in Bomuno. Actually, the type of style like Kitamino.
Okay.
So at here.
Yes.
Me perceive fans and Mumu Jeji. Now Mum chem the type of style like Kitamino. Mianka put them in shed name. Because
the one who said the name the give us a freestyle of that song no na ameyao. Betito mukakre bi mame na minyawo na ko obre ni nti no. Nti tito mame. Abofra bon omo achiche and give us the freestyler. Ameyao betimi a kire the gen na dia one ya numfo ya nenam. No one kire ye.
I say, according to say, yes, ya bofra bongwa. Nansu wa mwachi chidie. Nansu mi pera mi boy. Tisa de me bwachi chidie. Maya sa tentiri huo. Baby I'm from up and obameko. Me can't say me padi koko hun. So my bremi damana ma habain. But baby I be kutubia. Baby a bebe kotobia, baby a bebe kotobia yempo yem. Baby a bebe kotobia, baby a bebe kotobia, baby a bebe kotobia yempo yem. Mami, o can't say mammy ni answer, someone who can say no crow. Pape, o can't say Jabi wa Jabi Tiasi, sorry, Titi Mirabba, ba mi wo, fere mi como buo, 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 fere mi como buo.
Nice one, Abu. Yes, I.
Yeah.
See, you know, we are going to educate us, direct our path, and let us know. See, no, yaba na say. Yen na ye pushi sa nyum we say. A kwan be ni emfaso. Edin kind
Okay.
of yes, you name the kind of gen na kra ye. Intin how can we get to know our audience? Na yetimi kra ye amomani aje ho.
Oh, me as we free, so meaning to tie there.
Obeti intino, o de definitely obesa back online babe.
Okay. First thing my disappointed in him is as an artist, for you to say on a bigger platform like this, to say, unim the genre of music away is a failure.
Okay.
Me invest in you. There is no way I'm going to invest in something you don't know.
Okay.
You yourself, you don't know. So don't expect me to know. As like Obi may invest in you. Because only maybe a whole combo. And you don't know what you are doing. But Obi Nimsua, Obi Tire. So what I say only no is good. Utie ne Lewis none or day to you. That's a beat. About video now about also no. The beat and the sound was a trap sound. And I say a trap beat.
Okay.
A year in line with that Asaka, like that trap music. And or the air. But so totally without beat. Everybody
wow.
the piano will consider it as an high life music. But every body any trap on a chord and high life. So if so be promote here, focusing on the trap music line. Now I'm finding a way out on that trap music, you know. And then they call for that particular music. What release it? Yeah.
Now, up and coming once, you know, and then blogging home community. How and on also get it to bloggers. Now, one from promoting your way, and now blogging bloggers in Yakra.
Okay, I would say bloggers who here based on when he's ready. The beginning because before you reach out to bloggers, make sure you are ready. Reach out to me. I'll post. Are you ready?
Okay.
So if you cry now, or posting where the socials, if you call your distribution or he's not ready to bring another project. And the trying to never you know. Now if you would the oil no as I from as I was sorry about day. So because me my trending pay you. So before you reach out to bloggers, be ready. Before you reach out for promotion, be ready. Be ready to stay consistent. Be ready to be back to back. And yes, say, we reach out to bloggers, you post 1, 2, 3, you feel like that's all. No, it go beyond that. So be ready to invest in your craft. Be ready to produce more music. Be ready to face up and downs. And yes, say, but now it's not like that. And also make money because blogging is now a full-time business. Or reach out, everybody is going to ask you for money. So I have to TMY, yeah, it didn't work. So nobody is doing that anymore. So when you reach out, everybody is going to ask you money. So be ready, no. It entails a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the no correct. Yeah, say I say kwachi o say nkwanchen ade fa ni nyina sika kuru yayi. You know, before what be na hwa na order range ne ka sakasi mu a.
Yeah, from manager.
So what I say, because uncle for ya engineer say, and son will be wasting the data and equipment, you know. That person needs to also get some returns. Now, finally, uncle, because we have more dish and more life. I bet me a ding como ye pa and then networking a higher pa blogging, you know. Boundaries were one. As he said, do they have their limits? Maybe
for the internet side, boundaries any home. But for your personal side, set boundaries. Because whatever you are doing today, next generation is going to see. And ask yourself, say, whatever you are doing today, or what for be, who will be, would that person be proud of you as an uncle? Would that person be proud of you as a father? Would that person be proud of you as a native with Nemo growing up?
Okay.
That is the boundaries I set for myself. Apart from that, internet doesn't have boundaries, but internet doesn't forget. So whatever you are doing today, make sure say that should be who know. Maybe I may come say whatever I'm doing, I'm not doing for myself. I'm doing for my case. Me nana know me offer for mutina me bre. As an uncle, they are going to benefit from me as a dad. They are going to benefit from me as like everything.
Okay.
So I consider these things as my boundaries. But the internet doesn't have boundaries. Apart from maybe posting ubia and a crowd you can still post. So the internet doesn't have boundaries. But you have to set boundaries for yourself as an individual. Yes. Protect your mindset and protect your generation as well. Yeah. Be a generational thinker. Don't think about today.
Nice one. And I like the fact to say your point to be able to and it gives me another meaning to know the reason why here Abrantia Machi the day Echina Woody, you know. Now next time next time won't time in remember you have blog any journalism say a pe announce a difference a woman. Now answer na abakono we opening statement what can be network near rough. I need that to be said again. And I repeat, it goes this way. We say social media and the content na ko say aduane ye di ko yeyam. I hope says what kai say line I will take here no.
We say come back Manteo network
you said they say social media na ko say aduane a wo kwa akoto e de gu wuye mu no. What a wo kwa akoto no. Uwie a oyefu na be justify say e be bonyuma moasa na say mbonyuma wonsa. Enti feed your mind. Content. Repeat that line again and explain it and give me your final words.
Okay, what I said was that say nyanto boasie ekoto aduane papa di to get healthy body, healthy lifestyle, your ton time, papa share. We consider those things as our top priority. But we don't consider what we feed our mind. So whatever content you are going to consume on social media, it's like the same thing happens to your mind. So if you feed yourself with negative content on social media, that is going to be your outcome. That is going to produce something. I buy your results and people will see that going there. Say be watching me because of the content you consume on social media.
Okay. I love it.
So protect your mindset, protect what you consume on social media. It matters a lot. Sebi, when we say, and once in a good, you know, be British one is having a bomb, Sebi toilets, and it's once in a good so. Don't follow the don't follow the noise.
There's who follow a certain trend doesn't mean say
noise to be sick. Follow what matters. Take it to social media. Yeah.
Nice one there. That is what Ameya Wana. Oko Africa.
And tomorrow is my birthday.
Oh,
tomorrow,
then let me wish you a happy birthday in advance. May the Almighty God, the creator of the universe, the one that created you, and may was a more additional year onto your years, you know, shower his blessings upon you. Anything be and may he continue to nourish your ways and your mind with more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding as tomorrow is your birthday. Thank you, Boatin Amiyawan, for your time. And I may say, oh dear, you made you may say me no big dinner, sir, because I love it when I'm having a conversation with you. So thank you so much. And I know it's a time in it, you know, we have another discussion next time and a different day, but it definitely be within this time frame. But thank you so much. Mami Nyao, never promono. And sounds in new come on. What you say?
Bless them. Thank you very much, my boss. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Anytime of the day.
Peace out.
Blood of the slain will never be in vain. Never. No. We don't want to see no more people dying. Zion, Yahweh. Whoa. Zion, Yahweh. Whoa. Zion, Yahweh. Whoa, Zion, Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi back when the occasion calls for it. You are watching iCulture TV. Keep it locked. iCulture TV. Africa. From African perspective.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
For peace, reggae star, all star. I say, I charge you.
This is where we bring it down. This is where we bring the curtains down on today's live stream. Thank you very much for doing all the 2 and so hours with us. Do appreciate you all the time. If you're watching on any of all the multiple platforms that we stream on, thank you very much. Respect due. Gradually next week we will be back same time with next week's version of the live stream. We hope to bring you quality, continue to bring you quality production. Thank you on behalf of Imperial Media Concept, iCulture TV, Radio Culture, and www.ghmusnow.com. Go to our radio station, Radio Culture, for easy listening every time of day, especially when you're driving. Let me recommend that. Just go to Radio Culture. There's go to our Facebook page. Actually, there's a QR code. You scan it straight. You're on the website. Click on the radio player and just listen to great music. In the meantime, my name is Kwesi Eswanbako. I did sitting in today for today's show. I'll be back, God willing, next week with another package. Thank you once again. Thank you to all our guests, Dr. Boafo, Mr. Paul Yando, and all the other guests. Thank you also my team in Ghana and here in the USA. I do appreciate all the support. We will be back, as I said, God willing, next week. Goodbye for now.